What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rags to Riches. Before we get into the video today, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone watching this video and supporting the channel. You know, we're getting nearer to the end of the year, and of course I've been uploading like crazy this year, for those of you guys that haven't noticed, and I've been trying my best to really push this channel into, I guess, the next steps and progress it into something amazing. And of course it would not be possible without you guys clicking, listening, watching this video. With that being said, of course this entire series is all about budget picks and players and things like that, and I want you guys to drop down below, drop a little comment and say who has been your best budget pick this year. Someone that maybe you bought to complete a collection, or someone who was super cheap and you just bought him, in a game week and you were like, oh, he's not going to do that good, but then has actually massively exceeded expectations. For example, mine would be Philip Billing, who we kind of got as a collection piece from Bournemouth, and yeah, he's been cooking. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below who's been your best budget signing for your Sorare season so far. Without any further ado, we'll get on to the video here today. Like, subscribe, let's go. Is this Perisic's decisive? I'm not really sure. Either way, we get 50 essence for, I think, I don't know. Well, it said for a decisive, so, and then I'm guessing these two credits are also from a Perisic decisive and not the Bravka, even though they both got a decisive, so I don't really know how that works, but anyway, we get market credits nonetheless. Yes, guys, so in the last clip there, you see me redeem our missions with Perisic, and that is because he outperformed his L15, and it wasn't because of his decisive, which I got a little bit confused about, but we got there eventually, and of course it does count for the series because Perisic is part of the series. With that being said, Mr. Ben Doak, who we did get as a reward last game week, I think, has managed to yield us miraculously. I think this is $20 in 100% market credits, which is very generational for this series, and you can see he gets that because he outperforms his L15 by 20, I believe it was. So we win £10 of market credits, and that's 100% off, and another £10 of market credits. So yeah, that alone is a massive dub for Rags to Riches over the international break, and that essentially pays back for, well, yeah, I mean, essentially I was umming and ahhing whether to pick the cash rewards instead of essence last video, but $20, I mean, yeah, that essentially makes up for the poor crafts that we got in the last episode. Yes, guys, so it is still that international break, of course. However, I have been trying to make some moves on the gallery to try and improve our sides, and you can see here we have brought in a new man, and you can see it's Nicolas Pepe, and I've done a deal with the devil, Santonio himself. We've done a little bit of a swap here. Now, I'll be honest, I was looking to potentially win him on auction or buy now, because of course we have them credits, as you guys have seen. However, I couldn't really say no to Santonio offering me. So of course Niang, not long been in our gallery, to be honest. We picked him up for about 80p, but we're essentially using him and £3.80 for an in-season forward. Now, don't get me wrong, I know he's slightly older now, and he is being rotated quite a lot at Villarreal. However, we really need in-season forwards in La Liga, and I feel like he, at least when we had him, he was, levels above any of our other forwards. You can see in recent times he's not been performing the best, but I'm hoping now we've picked him up again, he can, come back to this sort of form. This is when we had him originally, and then sold him for this series. So essentially, a man returns back into our La Liga stack. And the main reason I've done this is because I sort of wanted to reward myself with how well the La Liga done in the last video. I thought, you know what, they deserve a good forward for that stack, and pretty much my plan now is to show you guys where we are at. Of course, you guys have seen in the last clip there, I'll get it up on screen so you guys can see as well. We currently have £16, but essentially it's all market credits, so I kind of have to wait. I kind of have to wait for the right auction to go through, if that makes sense. And of course, before I do that, I do want to probably do a craft in this video, which we'll do shortly. But I do want to work out where we need to improve, and in order to do that, we need to go through our squads. So I've sort of built squads, but obviously this is at preliminary builds and will definitely change. But I'm using this to help me know what I need to improve and yeah, essentially get better. So we'll start things off in La Liga, and you can see here pretty much I built these two squads, and yeah, the thing I noticed what we're missing in the first team is a classic smasher. So potentially we could go ahead and maybe look to buy a player like Lo Celso or Baena or someone who is just going to get a very good score and probably will give him the armband as opposed to Odi Aziz. Maybe in place for Aymar, because I'm not even really sure how well Aymar. It'll probably be a classic smasher in here, and then it'll be Aymar or Malero, whichever one is more likely to play. And then the second team, again, I don't mind too much about that. So, yeah, essentially, we could look to bring in a classic guy into the first team for La Liga. We'll move on to the Bundesliga. Again, this is sort of preliminary, will definitely change. To be honest, I was quite happy with these. I don't really anticipate buying anyone from the Bundesliga. Of course, we've quite recently bought these two stacks, so as things stand, I think I'm okay with them for now anyway. And then JPL, of course, we just keep taking from the JPL really to improve other lineups. And with that being said, again, I love the JPL because essentially I never really feel the need to buy anyone. I'm always quite happy with what we've got. The only thing we could potentially buy or improve or change is potentially the centre half or the defender here for Cercle Bruges. But I think what I might do is not only, of course, wait for the predictions and the person to predict the lineups because he will know more about what's happening there than me. I did read that apparently he's not really in favour anymore, Ravich. However, they are playing USG next, so I think no matter what Cercle Bruges defender we had, it's probably not going to end well for them, and we'll probably end up putting a Centurion defender in there or something anyway. So, yeah, I probably won't get another centre back for now because he'll probably just go in the second team anyway. But yeah, essentially that is where we're at with that at the moment. Eredivisie is pretty much always needing upgrading, I feel like. Potentially something we could do with our budget is build into the second Eredivisie team. Might make sense because it's the only comp we don't have two teams in at the moment. So yeah, I think potentially a classic smasher in La Liga, maybe Baena, Lo Celso, something like that, and maybe another Eredivisie stack. That being said, I think we can't be too far off another stack. We would definitely need a goalkeeper. Okay, so we've got the Rots brothers. So essentially we would need a midfielder, an extra, and a goalkeeper. Yeah, maybe we do that. Something to think about for sure. And then Challenger, again, I'm not too displeased with it. It's fine, it's doing alright. Contender, kind of the same vibe to be honest. Maybe a little bit weak in Contender, but don't mind that too much. And yeah, overall, I think that's pretty much where my head is at. I wanted to update you guys because I feel like it's been a little while since I've talked about strategy here on Rags to Riches. I feel like it's a lot of results and rewards and lineups for the next game week. I haven't really sat down and spoke to you guys about where my head's at or where I'm thinking or where I'm thinking about going or yeah, just overall where my head is at for the series. And essentially where my head is at is I'm quite happy with a lot of the teams, which sounds kind of weird because usually in series like this you would contemplate strategy or talk about where to go or what you're not happy with, but to be honest it's quite hard when you're quite happy with what you have. So yeah, generally speaking, moving forward strategy wise, I think potentially another Eredivisie, like I said, and maybe yeah, a little classic La Liga smasher. And apart from that, I'm very happy with the budget players we've been picking up. I'm very happy with, obviously take that with a pinch of salt. Not every budget player I buy is going to be unreal, and I'm happy I know that. You know what I mean? I think sometimes people may get people may think that I'm going to buy someone and they're always going to do well, or if they don't do well, then it's the end of the world and you have to sell them. I don't really believe that. Like, I buy these players with a little bit of risk or a little bit of anticipation that they might do poorly, and if they do well, then great, and if they don't do well, then I guess that's what you get for buying budget players. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think overall I'm very happy, very content with the way the series is going, the feedback I'm getting from it as well. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting and letting me know how you guys are getting on, and even the people that do buy the players that I buy, and then let me know, or tell me how they've done well for them or not done well for them or whatever. It's just good interaction, and I enjoy talking to you guys and the community about our lineups and what budget players you guys are picking up, because obviously you guys can help me in this series and I can help you by showing you the players that I'm thinking about buying. Obviously, let me know in the comments if there's any players that I really need to be buying. Do let me know, or if there's someone in your gallery that you're thinking is way too cheap and you want me to have a look at them to potentially buy for this series, of course let me know. But yeah, let's get on to probably some crafting and maybe improving these sides. If you are new to Sorare and you want to support a small creator in myself, then I would really appreciate if you use my link in the description down below to sign up, and of course you'll receive all the best referral slash welcome bonuses using the link down below in the description. Thank you. Yes, guys, so in the last episode, we had a lot of crafts. However, I did leave myself with roughly about 3,000 essence to do another craft in the video here today, but I left it down to you guys in the comments down below to give me a number, and pretty much I was just going to do whoever commented first, and I'm going to do that number for the video here today. And you can see here, shout out to One Tap RTG, who said he wants me to go for number 4. So we're going to craft here today and hit number 4 and hopefully get a good card. I will say, of course, we have enough essence to use clues and things like that, so we will use them if we need to. Come on, give us a good room. Okay, standard again. Oh my god, we keep getting standard rooms. For those of you guys that missed the last episode, I think we crafted 4 or 5 times, and every single time we got a standard room. So since missing Mbappe, we're just getting standard rooms. But we are going to go for number 4. Shout out One Tap RTG. Let's go. Come on. Oh, a forward La Liga card. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, One Tap. Yes, One Tap. Now, I don't think Moreno is a crazy insane price. Saying that, he's been really good recently, and he literally fits perfect for this series. Wow, that is a banger craft. That is a banger craft, because we needed forwards in La Liga, and I'm happy now that we didn't buy too many crazy cards, because of course you guys seen in the last clip there we just purchased Pepe, and now we've got his teammate Moreno. One of them will play, one or the other, and yeah, he's fresh back from an injury, so I don't think his price is too insane. With that being said, let's have a quick look. Gerard Moreno, let's have a look. Yeah, wow, that is a banger craft. About £7 to £8, and he actually has some great utility for our gallery. So now we've got a bit of a decision to make. I will say I'll take the 1,000 off of our beautiful essence counter, and you will see here that we have 2,270 essence left. So I'm going to save the essence, and because I want to try and craft when we're at 3,000 every time. With that being said, on the comments of this video, whatever numbers are commented for me to craft, I will craft next time I can on this series. So yeah, massive shout out to One Tap RTG, because I would not have got Gerald Moreno without you, so thank you. And anyone that's watching this video now, comment which number do you think I should go for in my next craft. I'm buzzing with that. Let's see how that shakes up the sides. Before we crack on with this video, I do need to update you guys on the midweek stuff, and this is the results of what we put out. Of course, if you guys did catch the last episode, it pretty much was just a mess of randomness, and I just decided that I would award myself whatever, deemed necessary, whatever we did win over the game week. So with that being said, you can see here the entire team is from rags to riches, and we did actually manage to yield 100 essence, so this one was nice and easy to calculate and work out. And you can see here, yeah, everyone done what they were supposed to. Luckily, Marco came off the bench. I think it was Mentham and Friedel were both not meant to start, so him coming off the bench was good, and then the attackers done what I thought they would. It's just a shame we couldn't have, put them into somewhere better. Of course, I tried to, but yeah, it just didn't really work for one reason or another. Mainly the defender situation, as you can see. So yeah, we got 100 essence. We'll take it, and then here's where we get a little bit technical, should we say? We pretty much have 40% of an under 23 team here. You can see Bendoke, Brown, and Noosa, all played in this side, and they're all from this series. And obviously, Bendoke and Noosa played a big part in us getting 100 essence for this team. So what I'm going to do is, because technically we own 40% of this team, I was going to give myself 40 essence, but then I realised that if you have a look at our current essence count, we only need 30 to be in a nice round number. So I just decided, yeah, let's just say that that was 30 essence from that team. We'll award ourselves with that. So we yield 130 essence. So that brings us to 2,400. I just thought it's a nice round number to do that, so don't mind too much. So yeah, there we go. That is the international break. It feels like that game week was just so long, like a never ending. And now we have to prepare for game week 27. And just so you guys know, we have a nice wallet of £16 thanks to Ben Doak having a great game, and 2,400 essence, which we're going to try and get to 3,000 before we craft again. And obviously, I'm going to let you guys pick the craft. If you guys want to help and support me create more videos like this one for you guys to enjoy, then I would really appreciate if you became a member using the link down below in the description. We have spent all of our money on rags to riches, and you ask, what have we spent it on? Of course, I've been doing some scouting, and you guys did see previously in the video I was talking about potentially getting some more Eredivisie players, and yes, I have spent my budget on the Eredivisie to try and get a B team out there. And you can see here is one of the the goalkeeper that we got in for the Eredivisie. You can see as NEC goalkeeper, they have a very poor matchup this weekend, but I sort of bought it as a future kind of thing, if you get what I'm saying. And yeah, so who else did we buy then? I will show you guys on this screen here if we can load up. Why am I? There we go. Gallery, not collections, of course. And we'll go to new, hopefully. There we go. And you can see we also get 2 extra NEC players, and that completes our sort of 15 to 20 pounds that we did have to budget to spend. You can see here we brought in all 3 of them, and yeah, what does that mean for the lineups then? I'll show you guys. Obviously, like I said, the next clip will be me actually doing the lineups for the weekend, but just a preliminary, God, that's a hard word, look at the side that we have built now. And you can see here they are playing Feyenoord, so not exactly a great game, but the side will look something like this ahead of the weekend. And yeah, we will almost definitely change it, so I'm just going to put them there just so I know where they're at. And yeah, I think the only thing we have left to do now in the future, probably will be in the next episode now, is really look at some of the squads where we could improve the classic. So for example, here we don't have a classic player, and I think that we would do well to get someone like Perisic, but just in the second team. And that kind of speaks for all of my squads. Like even the La Liga one here, the first team doesn't have a classic card, which I feel like, at this stage, is kind of silly because there's a lot of great classic cards for cheap. Yeah, Bundesliga again. We're using. I feel that's what we're doing a good job of. A good job of in the Bundesliga. However, JPL again, same kind of vibe. We're not using. Oh, we actually are using Rob. Actually, I did forget about that for the first team. But Rob, we don't even know if he's really going to start. So I think in the next episode, what we're going to focus on is really getting better classic smashers. With that being said, though, we only have £1, so hopefully this weekend we can yield a little bit of money, even if it's because classics are not that expensive. So even if we can build our balance here to £4, £5, £6 just to get in a couple more classic cards, I think that's where we're going to go next for the strategy. But yeah, there is our sort of Eredivisie second side build, and now we have got some lineups to build ahead of the weekend. Let's go. Yes, guys, we are getting nearer to the end of the week now, and I feel like today has been a big day on Rags to Riches. I feel like this episode is probably going to be quite a long one, so I do apologise for that. But there has been a lot happening on the account, and I can't. I mean, the whole point of the series is to update you guys on our week, or as the week goes on, and it's just been a mega busy week on Rags to Riches. So here we are. Here we are back with another business update. You can see we have signed Johan Kathleen, or Kathleen, I don't know how you say his name. And we have also got, we received two, okay, cool. We get some crafting clues. Nice. I didn't even really realise that we got that. Cool. Alright, okay. We got some crafting clues. I didn't really know they were coming, but we'll take them. And yeah, I wanted to update you guys on the other signings we have made in this series, and you can see on screen here they are. We have gone ahead and purchased a Kadri back in the side, of course. An absolute monster for us, kind of similar to Pepe, who we signed earlier on in the episode, but he used to be a beast for us. We sold him for good profit, and now we are buying him back again. And the reason for this is because we really do need classic smashers. As I said in the last segment, I'm going to try and focus on that. And yeah, I just think he's a really good JPL player to have. So we got him, and we done a little trade deal for him with Santonio, of course. You guys know me. We got rid of Bungard because he's not starting regularly enough to be a part of this series, unfortunately. And £1.15 for a very good classic smasher. Granted, the team isn't the best, but yeah. Then we went ahead and picked up another classic smasher. You can see Giovanni Lo Celso. Again, someone we used to have in this series. We sold for good profit, and now we're buying back. Seems to be a common theme in this episode, but I'm okay with that because I think they are good players. And again, we traded with the Devil Santonio, and you can see this deal was gold dust, really. We got rid of our Bendoke, who was fantastic for us because we got him as a craft. He earned us like $20 or £20 of market credits, and yeah, we essentially just trade him. I think he picked up an injury as well, so this is a good one. And 70p for a classic smasher in La Liga. And yeah, essentially, that is where we are at in terms of purchases. Now, I will say cards on sale has changed as well. You can see, sorry, I should filter just Rags to Riches. So you can see here we've put Gerard Moreno up for sale, and the reason for that is because the La Liga Duos promo is out. I don't know when by the time you guys see this, I don't know if you can still get involved in this stuff. If you do want to get involved, you can find a link to join me on my Twitter. If I remember, I'll put the La Liga and Eredivisie links in the description of this video. But yeah, we're pretty essentially, because the duo promo is out. Gerard Moreno is a very, very tasty price right now, so I've put him up at £16.50. If he sells for that, absolutely buzzing for this series. And then the other things up for sale are for a different reason. Now, this is anticipation or preparation, shall we say, ahead of the winter break. Now, all of these cards play in a league where there's like a month or two break during the winter break. So I've decided to try and get rid of them early and perhaps buy into cards that still play over Christmas time. Um, we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to shift the pieces on, as you can see, and yeah, in terms of, and like I said, this is an absolutely action-packed business update because we'll move on to the cards we are trying to sign. We are trying to get this goalkeeper in because he goes well with Miguel Freckleton, and also because we are losing out on the keepers here. So we're looking to try and sign him super cheap, and an absolute heater. We're going to attempt to get Adiemi into the gallery as well for our Bundesliga sides because our forward situation is dire. I know Adiemi's like not exactly nailed to play himself, but I'm thinking, surely if we get 4, 5, 6 forwards that are very, very good, then hopefully two of them are going to play at the weekend. Yeah. So just to very quickly run through you guys the teams and what's updated and what's changed. Again, like I said, there'll be a lineup segment at the end, so probably will change. But just so you know, this is where we're at. This is the La Liga sides, as you can see. Yeah, Lo Celso goes in there. Moreno's come out for the time being, and we'll try and sell Moreno. Second team is a bit rubbish, but we don't really care about the second team for now. Bundesliga, here we go. So this is the sides, and of course we'll add Adiemi into the main team should we manage to get one, and we will captain him, of course. And then for the JPL, you can see here are the sides. Again, second team is a bit rubbish, but it is what it is. And then we have got, and like I said, I'll go into more detail with these when we actually conclude our lineups. But there we go. And then the only thing we need to change with this one is because Proper is suspended for this game week. We're just going to roll the dice on Kathleen. Kathleen might not even play. However, I just thought we might as well get him. He might be good for the future, and just makes a bit of sense, doesn't it? Obviously, like I said, Proper isn't going to play, so we might as well get Kathleen and see if he comes back into the side. And the reason I've done that as well is because we have Miguel Rodriguez, so I'm thinking if Rodriguez doesn't play, Kathleen likely plays. But yeah, anyway, that is kind of what I'm thinking there. Update from Challenger, looks like we're only going to have one team this game week unless I can get a goalkeeper, then we can field two lineups. Again, I'll update you guys on that. And then Contender, we're only going to have one lineup this game week. So yeah, that is pretty much where we're at with all of the lineups, and lots of business. I know I'm trying to update you guys as I go, but yeah, it's a very, very busy one in this episode. Yes, guys, so a lot has happened on the gallery over the past, 24 hours or so since I last recorded. And to be honest, I can't even remember where I left off. All I know is that I purchased a load of cards to try and improve our lineups going into this game week. I will say I've also managed to sell a few cards. I am going to try and be quick with this update though, because I am aware that you guys, that this video is already very, very long, and I have already yapped quite, a bit in this one. But pretty much I can't remember who I have and haven't shown on the video at this point, but the main one to take note of, so I will talk about, is Moreno selling for £15 pretty much. And to be honest, that funded a lot of cards, as you can imagine, in this gallery. And all said and done, just so you guys know, we have about £3 left on the account. So we still have a little bit of room. But you can see here on screen, here are some of the purchases that we made. Of course, you guys are going to be seeing these in lineups that I'm about to show you. So I'm not going to go over the purchases too quick or too much because I can just show you guys in the lineup. So yeah, without any further ado, here are the lineups for this game week. Going into this game week, let's go. We have got the two La Liga sides. Again, Lo Celso comes in as a new purchase as well. Pepe, of course, in this episode. And I'm going to give Lo Celso the armband because not sure if he's going to start. But if he does play, it's Girona. So we know he's going to score well, hopefully. And then the second team, good to see Aymar back in the mix. No real notable changes in this one. So as far as the La Liga goes, only Pepe and Lo Celso really making a change in this squad. Of course, we did have Moreno, but I've shown you guys me selling him. Moving on to the Bundesliga, it's a bit of a mess this game week because I got this forward from Wolfsburg to help in the forward department. You guys know how much pain and suffering I'm going through with my forwards at the moment. But then I realised after I made the purchase, like an idiot, that he is playing against the defence, which is Bade and Flecken.
And to be honest with you guys, I was just like, "Ah, you know what? It's just gonna have to be one of those weeks where it doesn't really make sense. The second team doesn't make sense either because we have got 0%. So all in all, it's just a bit of a mess, really, Bundesliga. And the main reason is that main reason for that is the forwards. They're just all over the place. But yeah, so I'm not hopeful for the Bundesliga. We'll see in the next episode how poorly it goes. But moving on to the JPL, we bring back in Kadri, who of course was a legend of this series, and we're giving him the armband straight away. Outside of that, not much has changed in the JPL. The second team is, not going to do anything, but yeah, hopefully the first can get something done. We are still going for the first streak in JPL at the moment, so maybe we can get lucky with the first team, and maybe Kadri is the one that kept hitting the streaks for us. So hopefully he can drop a nice 100 bomb and get us a streak for this game week. And moving on to the final team. This is the one that had some upgrades in this episode, as you guys seen. We got a second Eredivisie side, and yeah, to be honest, outside of that, we picked up Marco Piaka to go in. We did have Kathleen in this team, which is another new purchase from Utrecht. However, Damrots just has a better fixture. So we're not going to be using Kathleen for this game week, but we might use him in the future. Who knows? And yeah, generally speaking, pretty happy with the Eredivisie. Pretty happy with most of our lineups, to be honest, except Bundesliga is a bit of a mess, really. And yeah, all the other players that are in this series that you don't see have been put into all stars and under 23s and mixed in with some of my other pieces in the gallery that don't make sense in other lineups. So these are the ones that matters. These are the ones that count. Of course, we do have challenger and contender to go. However, again, it's a from it tapers down from here if you get what I mean. Yeah, so the first team is pretty generic. This is the players that we already had. The second team has got a few different players. Ioannis Hagi has been purchased as a classic smasher, almost a replacement for Arnstad, pretty much, who has a long winter break. So we just went with Hagi. And yeah, the goalkeeper has a sore back, so he might not play this game. Which I don't really mind because they're playing Celtic. So yeah, generally speaking, the B team is rubbish, but hopefully the main team can hit 400 points because we are going for the big third streak in Challenger. So we're praying for the first team to do well. Of course, we've got the legend Jack Iredale in there as well, so hopefully he cooks. And then, last but not least, is our contender size. And again, we made a few purchases here in contender. First of many is Christoph, the goalkeeper. Again, used to be in this series, got him back because he was cheap now, and Elfsberg are quite a good team. Pinker, again, used to be in this series, got him back. Makes sense to go with Christoph. Then we got Michael Cousance, who is a great player for Hertha, a great classic smasher. And yeah, just a good purchase in general. And then partnered up with Dardai and Attic, who were already in the gallery. So to be honest, this first contender team should on paper do very well. The only annoying thing is, I'm sure you guys have struggled with this pain as well, we are one over the cap, which is extremely frustrating because we can't make it work any other way. So we just miss out on the 4%, unfortunately. Which is a bit annoying. Second team is made up of players that don't really make sense for this game week, and a new purchase in there is Keenan Karaman, a legend from Schalke, and I had to get him involved, of course. What a hero he is, and yeah, the rest of the players are pretty rubbish to be honest, and Hendricks is playing against Schalke, so probably won't do that well, but yeah. Anyway, that is just the nature of budget gallery. Sometimes it doesn't really make sense. So I'd say our lineups, if I had to predict before next episode, some of them are just going to hit, some of them are going to do terrible. Of course, you guys are going to have to come back next week to see how they get on. So there you guys have it for Rags to Riches this game week. I am aware this was a big one. Generally speaking, after the international break, usually these videos are quite long because I'm sure you guys experience it on Sorare as well, where you just go through the motions, you're buying loads of players, you're trying to prep for the next sort of break of games. So yeah, I know this is quite a long one. I appreciate if you guys have made it to this point in the video. It really does help out the channel with the algorithm and pushes it to new users. With that being said, leaving a like does help. Comments do help as well. Of course, please subscribe if you are new, and we'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.